Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to The Real with Mel Highsmith. As usual, I always say it's been a wild 24 hours. Well, it's been a wild 24 hours. Some wild things have happened. The first thing I'm going to talk about, as always, is the stimulus, because I know everybody wants to know about that. So, I could read a little bit of a statement. This is just, coming from Donald Trump's side, which is ridiculous. I will tell you this, okay? Mail-in voting does not work, okay? It produces fraud. It's like taking a box of candy and putting it in front of a child and say, do not touch that candy when I leave the room. So that's the amazing thing right there. So with that said, mail-in voting does not work. The reason why the stimulus bill has been held up is just simple, very simple. The Democrats want to put in there will be, a lot of people know is pork spending, extra pork rinds. They're putting out all their rhetoric in social media and online that Donald Trump wants to, defund the post office and he won't give them their money. Here's the thing, the post office gets their money through the budget. Okay, what Pelosi and everybody on her side's trying to do, they want mail-in voting, so they want to fund the post office and hire a bunch more employees and beef it up nice and fat on our money, okay? And so by doing that, they can handle the mass mail-in votes. It is amazing for the first time in all these years that everybody's just screaming for mail-in voting. I'm sorry if it upsets some people, or maybe they just don't, see that mail-in voting is a bad thing. Well, here it is. Look at the cities. Look what's going on with them right now. It's a very, very crazy thing that's going on. So anyways, President Donald Trump said on Friday, once again, he said he was ready to act and pump stimulus money into the U.S. economy, hard hit by this coronavirus pandemic. A week after his negotiating team failed to reach a deal with congressional Democrats, the same people, Nancy Pelosi. We have an 83-year-old woman, or however she is, but 83-year-old woman out of California who reps a district that's is destroyed by her policies, and she's the one who's deciding whether you get relief or not. The Republican-controlled Senate and Democratic-controlled House of Representatives have gone into the informal process after last week's talks ended with the parties $2 trillion apart from each other. The Republican Party wants to send out, a trillion to $1.5 trillion. The Democrats want $3.5 trillion. So the leaders of both parties said they could recall their members with 24 hours notice if a deal emerged. Ivan, how you doing, man? There we go. So in his series of tweets, the president tweeted he's prepared to take unilateral action, this time to provide Americans with the direct payments as well as the money for small businesses, business, state, and local governments. Democrats are holding the money up. Bottom line, the president's not defunding the United States Post Office. That's the Democrats' rhetoric to scare the hell out of y'all and everybody else. I mean, we've all known for years that the post office that's why they call it snail mail. Okay, it just doesn't work. So, rhetoric works, but, sooner or later, I wish people would take off their blindfolds and stop believing the lies. Okay, aides to the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Democratic leader, I said Democrat, Chuck Schumer were not immediately available for comment. Well, of course, they don't. Why should they care? They're paid regardless of whether you're working, I'm working, or anybody's working. They just don't care. Trump's move came a day after he said he was blocking talks to prevent Democrats from providing more money for the Postal Service or state and local election officials struggling to prepare for the November 3rd elections during the pandemic. They're using the pandemic as a political weapon, okay, a political weapon, so everybody has to sit at their house. I'm sorry, there's been many tests in many countries, not just the United States itself, and mail-in voting gets full of fraud. You get the person who hates one of the candidates for whatever reason, they're going to let their dog, their cat, their their pet snake, their rats, their dead grandparents, everybody vote, and that just does not work. It doesn't work. And here's the whole thing, you know, I tell everybody, all 435 members of the House of Representatives are up for re-election, including the Senate, parts of the Senate, and many elections below that. Okay, vote with your conscience. If you're gonna pick somebody, please pick somebody that has a proven track record, okay? Because here's the thing, in 2009, in H1N1 virus, there were 60 million people infected. Not 6 million, 60 million, okay? And you didn't see nothing, okay? You didn't hear nothing. Nothing was said because we're not gonna derail Barack Obama at any cost, okay? It was not clear what authority he was going to have to dispense the additional relief. Lee Bolin, how you doing? Okay. U.S. Constitution gives Congress, not the president, the power to determine taxes and spending, which limits Trump's ability to pump meaningful amounts of stimulus money into the economy. Now, I want you to, I'm going to read back what I just said. Okay. Congress, not the president, has the power to determine taxes and spending. Okay, so you have Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats in the House of Representatives not allowing the spending because President Trump will not, from the Republican side, allow money to be given to them inside the aid, which is supposed to be for us, so they can pull off their fraud in mail-in voting. So that's crazy, don't you think? You know? It's just crazy. I mean, that's just my opinion. I had somebody tell me I needed to educate my opinions a little better. Well, my opinion is anybody's holding up money to take care of you and me and our kids and grandkids across this great land because they want money so they can commit mass fraud. Just think about it for a second, okay? You can't constantly blame President Trump if you can't get the left of the aisle to the table. All they want is their own money. They're just going to get their money and they're going to steal it from the rest of the people. It blows my mind. Okay? So I do think that a deal is going to be reached. That's how I've said it for the last couple of episodes. I do think that the deal is going to be reached, you know, by the end of the month. Okay? And that the American people will be able to get their relief that they want. So anyhow, I want to talk about something else. Okay, and this one's really hard to wrap your mind on, okay? As Americans, we have sat here for the last couple of months watching rioters, okay, from the Antifa, children, BLM, which, by the way, both of these fund the Democratic Party, go around and tell everybody that you should be ashamed of being white or Caucasians because George Floyd was killed. You know, I've said on episodes, I saw the body cam footage from both, from two of the officers there. The story the news gave us was not true. They lied to us. So we have a young Caucasian, okay, child named Hinant, okay? A African-American man, Darius Simmons, 25, has been charged with walking up to the boy late Sunday afternoon and shooting him in the head point blank range. You know, that's a sad thing. If that was an African-American boy, America would be ashes right now. They would have burned us down. But you don't hear a peep from this on the news, on anything. It's a sad day when innocent children can be murdered and nobody has a problem with it. Ronnie, how you doing, man? Glad to see you're on the show. So, poor little Kenny Hinant's playing out in front of his house. This Darius Sessoms evidently was a next door neighbor, friends to the father. And I guess, so Kenny was killed as he rode his bike in his father's front yard. The boy's two sisters, 7 and 8 years old, were with him when he was shot, according to reports. Now, can you imagine the siblings of Ken and Hinant, if I'm pronouncing his name right, God bless his young little soul. Can you imagine what it was like for them to watch their brother be executed right there in the front yard. Say it once again, if there's an African-American child, America would be in ashes right now. You don't hear this on Fox News, you don't see it on anything, because it doesn't play into the political narrative. This young man's life meant nothing because it does not play in to the political narrative to get Joe Biden to become president so they can get rid of a pedophile ring, because it was a child. Because evidently when it comes to the news media and most politicians, they could give two flying flips about our children. So Ken Hinant's father, Mr. Hinant, told the station he and Sessions were next door neighbors. He had Sessions over to his house the night before, and he was having dinner with him. They drank a beer together on the porch, he said. There wasn't anything between me and him, any bad blood whatsoever. For him to have a reason to do this, Hinant said. You know, my God, where is the sanctity to protecting our children? I saw today on Facebook, someone who's a Facebook friend, I've eaten at his restaurant, but he was just talking about in general that, you know, his son was bullied yesterday at school. My response to that is protect your children. Keep your children close to you. Because in this political season, they do not care. The left will burn America down. They don't care. If they can't steal all of our money, they're going to burn us down. So be mindful where your children are at. Make sure you can take care of them. This bullying in school, you know, it's a sad day. You know, I know myself when I was younger, I moved around a lot. So I went to a lot of different schools. So I know what it's like to get, you know, I was bullied when I was younger. It's just sad that anybody has to go through that. So protect your children. To a message to this Darius Sessions, I wish I could go to jail with you and give you what you deserve. Bottom line, I don't have to say it, but I think all y'all understand what this man deserves. It is sad to go up and murder a little child like that. It actually breaks my heart. I'm a father myself, and I read this sickening stuff every single day. This Darius Sessions, you know, he feels self-entitled because of this BLM movement that they used to rob the heritage of the African Americans and just to get Joe Biden elected. Frankly, it blows my mind. I'm sorry, it's a touchy subject with me, but these children mean the world. And for anybody that wants to hurt a child, you know what you should get. For these pedophiles that has hurt these children, I tell you what, castration isn't good enough. Swift adjudication and then execution. Nobody who hurts a child should be allowed to remain in society. I don't care if you're locked behind. It just makes me sick. So I just literally do not care if you cannot protect children. So this Darius Sessions took it upon himself, took advantage of his friend, and then murdered his son. But you don't see it on the news. It's not important to Nancy Pelosi. It's not important to Joe Biden. All he cares about is putting everybody in masks in the entire country. You know, he's one of those pervert. Excuse me, I'm not allowed to talk about him because they'll cut my feed. But, you know, those perverts who have been elected by individuals in our own communities. And now the life of our own children do not matter. You know, it just absolutely blows my mind that no one has the thing. The police officers are disrespected in our streets every single day for doing their job. Shame on anybody who walks around carrying a shirt that says BLM, Antifa, or defund the police. Let me tell you something. I grew up in inner city San Antonio. It's a city that's in the top 10 in violence for the last 50 years. If it wasn't for the police officers, I'd probably be dead today, along with my younger brother and everybody else I was around, because we wasn't fortunate as other. We had to live in the housing and the projects. Every day coming to school is running for our lives. There wasn't enough police officers. As a child, I watched my own friends get shot in the streets. Shot in the streets. And it's the saddest thing that our inner cities have become this way because the politicians use you and me as their own pawn in their little chess games to make themselves richer. A lot of people may not like what I say, but at least I'm going to tell you how I feel from my heart. I don't care what kind of ratings I can get or anything like that. I do this as a charity to my community. I'm not paid. I pay for everything. So I'll tell you right now, if you see a child being bullied, don't allow anybody to bully him. Protect him. Stand up for your community. Do something that's right for the first time if you haven't already. If you know somebody that's a pedophile's been hurting children, my God, report them. Don't protect them. Our children are our future, and we cannot let this happen. We cannot. As American people, we must stand. And the only way we can do this, the only way we can change the way this world is going is by voting. Get out and vote. It don't matter if you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, it doesn't matter, independent. Get out and vote. If you believe you can change the world, that's the only way it's going to happen. But vote with your conscience. Because a vote to the wrong place, have your child there and look down at them, because a vote to the wrong place means you're just giving up your children's freedom. So these sick sons of bitches can hurt them. Just like Darius Sessoms did to poor Canon Hinant. When I caught wind of this, I was brokenhearted. See, Darius Sessoms was probably picked on as a little kid. And then he turned his TV on, it was CNN, MSNBC, or something like that. And he saw all the writing and how it's okay in the modern days just to hate anybody that's white. It just blows my mind. I have all nationalities in my own family. And every day, just because I was born lighter than somebody else, that I'm this demon. Never owned slaves. I don't believe in slaves. So therefore, I don't believe in what Black Lives Matter has become to represent, to get politicians elected. Does people truly care about our African American communities? Not the politicians. Bottom line. How does a millionaire know what it's like for a young black man growing up in inner Chicago? How's he know? Does he ever go down there? Nope, they do not. I've seen their lives. I grew up just as poor as the rest of them. But through hard work and busting my butt, at least I have a life. So we all can change. Come November 3rd, our lives, our very lives as Americans, and please hear me on this, our very lives as Americans are on the line. These people that are behind Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris, they are coming for us. Hug your children, love them, because your children are just a buffet for them. We all want our homes to be safe. That's our right as Americans, is to believe there's something better, a dream. That's why they called it an American dream. Now the American dream is how much welfare can you get? How much can you steal from your neighbor? That's the American dream. No one is able to accomplish it anymore. Everybody looks at the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm going to tell you again, 6 million sick with it. In 2009, look it up yourselves. My God, educated. You will see that the H1N1 had 60 million people. And you heard nothing about it. That's why you don't know about it. So, just keeping that. We can all find our own information. Don't get it off the news. They're going to say the things that you need to hear. Okay? But you get on this little show that I do in the middle of a pawn shop in Marble Falls, Texas. Okay, I shoot this from Lakeside Pawn and Jewelry. Okay? All this is put up by us because the community, we serve the community has helped us, so we're just trying to give a turn to get the word out. That's the only thing that matters to us. Little Kenny hit it. It's from North Carolina. I bet when he came in this world, he did not expect the guy who used to come over and have a good time with his father would be the one putting a gun to his head and pulling the trigger. A lot of people don't want to hear about that. I caught some flack talking about the Epstein pedophiles yesterday. And I don't care. You know, if you want to be an American, you want to go hide in your hole, and you know, so because you're afraid of getting ridiculed. Well, I tell you what, in my lifetime, because I speak my opinion, because I'm a red-blooded American. It don't matter that I'm Caucasian. I'm actually half Caucasian. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if I would be black, Hispanic, anything, Chinese. Doesn't matter. I'm still an American. I was born here in America, and I'm very proud of it. And when I said all those nationalities, here's the thing. I back them off. You are an American, I have your back. But if you're going to spend your time voting for people who put my children and your children and everybody else's children in jeopardy, then you need to worry, because sooner or later, God's wrath is going to come down on people. Pedophiles are a pestilence to our society, and anybody to protect them are just the guardians at their gates. It's horrible. It's horrible, but they're out there. So if you don't get out and make your vote heard, whether you're Democrat or Republican, I am a Republican myself. I will be voting Donald Trump 2020. So when I go out, that's my plan. I don't want to see anybody voting Democrat, but you know, this is owned by a show. And I'll tell you that, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, go out and vote. If you're not registered in your area, please go out and register to vote. Do what you have to do to make the difference. But vote, once again, I said, with your conscience. You know, you get Nancy Pelosi up there screaming and yelling of how bad a president is Donald Trump, right? Because unemployment's swarming because of COVID-19. Hey, Nancy, COVID-19, you know about it. You visited China also. So COVID-19 is the reason. It's not Donald Trump. Because before the Chinese virus, or the Pelosi Chinese Biden Democrat virus, okay, before it came about, we were soaring. And then all y'all could do was just knock it down. And that goes to show, and I hope the American people can see that, it goes to show that they never cared about you in the first place. You know, there's a good old saying is, I'm not gonna let you hold the gun to my head. You better pull the trigger. And with the COVID-19, basically as Americans, we're sitting around with the gun held to our heads. I'm just not willing to do that. I'm not. You either pull the trigger or get that gun with my goddamn head. Because I'm not going to deal that way. The Real with Mel Highsmith is about telling you the facts as I see them through my eyes. Okay? I'm not a news outlet. I'm an online media. So, with that said, look at your children and give them hugs, because they are coming for them. Okay? You've seen a lot while we've been focused on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. You notice now in the news, everything's about Kamala Harris, right? Because he gave everybody somebody rather than focus on Joe Biden. With his mental faculty going down, I mean, he doesn't even know where he's going half the time. So you know he won't be in the office for that long. Then old Kamala would become president, and then Nancy Pelosi would become vice president. Wow, imagine that one. I couldn't imagine myself, being as evil as that woman wanting to run the country. Or wait, she knows she'll become a billionaire that way. So, just in the end, Ken Hinant had his life snatched from him by Darius Sessoms, a 25-year-old black man who had nothing better to do but to murder a 5-year-old child. I hope that Darius gets what he deserves. And I wish I was in South Carolina or North Carolina, because I'd be going to jail right now just so I could go tell him how I feel about what he did. And it all starts with bullying. Poor Darius didn't have a chance because the Democrats on the left just blatantly destroy all black lives. You know what I mean? See, the Democrats don't care about Black Lives Matter. They care about the money it generates. And the saddest thing is, and blacks, most of them, or a lot of them, are okay with that. Stand up for your heritage. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It matters what's in your veins. We're all Americans. We must get out and vote and stop the Democrats before it's too late. Can you imagine someone like Nancy Pelosi running this country? Sure, she's an advocate of transgender people and gays and homosexuals. Sure, she's an advocate, of course. She needs more suckers that'll vote for her. She doesn't care about them. She just wants to be in office. It's about power. Everybody craves power, but myself and Mel Highsmith, the only power I crave is one that's not going to hurt you or anybody else. So, in short, for this show, I just want to say a prayer before I get off the air right now for Kenny Hinant and his family, man. So I hope you enjoy with us. Okay. Dear Lord, please lay your loving hands upon Ken and Hinant. It was not his fault for what was done. These nasty political season, dear Lord, is now starting to take all the lives and take its toll. I ask you to lay your loving hands upon us all. Put those hands upon Ken and Hinant's family. And dear Lord, allow swift justice for Darius Sessoms for the horrible thing that he has done. In your name, Jesus Christ, our Lord, amen. So, until next time, this is The Real with Mel Highsmith. You can check me out on Facebook, The Real with Mel Highsmith, societyradio.com. You can find us on YouTube, The Real with Mel Highsmith, or you can just become my friend on Facebook. Spread the word. I need your help. Need more listeners and viewers. I'm trying to bring in donors so I can help the charities out there around me for the children. I'm a big advocate for the children's charities. So anyways, spread the word for me. Share this episode. And I enjoy all you coming in. So until I'll see y'all Monday, the real Mel Highsmith.